Hello, everyone, and welcome to something very different. So usually I make video essays. That's what I usually do, and I'm working on one of those things right now. And it is a review of One Piece movie 6, Bara no Matsuri in the Secret Island, whatever the shit. And it's a very good movie, and I'm really excited to start working on that video. But I'm not done with the script yet, and I felt like recording something. Felt like going out and doing something, having a good funnel time. And so I decided to check out good old CBR.com. And CBR is notorious amongst like every anime community for having the worst articles. And it is just well, I'll just go through and show you some like CBR articles to give you a gist of what they're about. So most of them are lists and top 10 lists based on certain anime. And One Piece happens to be a pretty heavily featured series here on good old CBR.com. And it's, lists like One Piece, 10 ways Gecko Moria could have won in Thriller Bark, or 10 things Luffy can do without his devil fruit, kind of standard, just normal articles, top 10 lists, power scaling. They're awful with power scaling. We'll get into that later. Jesus. And one thing that really irks me is good old CBR.com has a list ranking the CP9 agents based on strength, when in universe there is a power ranking for the CP9 agents. Who wrote this and why? So let's start here with our first article. 10 things about the East Blue arc that don't make sense. First of all, calling the East Blue itself an arc instead of a saga, that miffs me. That kind of nicks my jiffies. That's not a saying. So anyway, let's hop straight into number 10. What the fuck's wrong with East Blue? I can't really think of much, aside from, I guess, that one plot hole where, like, Sanji is surprised that Luffy is a devil fruit user, and he didn't think they existed up until that point, despite the fact that in Thriller Bark he professes that he wanted the clear fruit from a young age. So, that is literally the only one plot hole I can think of that stems from East Blue at all. So let's see what CBR's got in store for us here. Maybe their eyes are so keen that my small baby brain couldn't pick up on it. Maybe I'm just a fucking idiot and CBR is actually like just giga brain, ultra fucking smart, punch me in the dick and call me a bum. Number 10 is Kuro's plan. Kuro's plan, honestly, it's kind of a bit of a tricky subject, Kuro's plan. I'm not going to pretend that Syrup Village is fucking peak literature, War and Peace, whatever. Syrup Village is not the best written arc. And Kuro's plan, it's a bit silly. I won't lie. Why not just fucking take the money yourself? Why masquerade as a butler? Just fucking raid the house and take the money. But fucking, it happened. He did it. It's a little bit silly, a little bit stupid, but it's Syrup Village, and Syrup Village isn't too great either way, so Kuro's plan is a little bit whack. I'll concede on that point. Number 9, Buggy's predicament. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? Okay, Buggy, he has the chop fruit. He's able to chop pieces of his body off and like have them like control them individually, and I guess what they're talking about here is after Luffy defeated him, he was in a state where he was only like hands, feet, and a head. And their argument here is that he couldn't operate without a functional heart or internal organs, I guess. Which I guess they don't know how fucking devil fruits work, because you can see literally from this screenshot that Buggy does not even have internal organs. He is like a doll, basically. He's like fucking. He doesn't need them. He's fine. Like, that power would be fucking stupid. If Buggy's power was to cut himself in half and he was still a flesh and blood human, then if he cut himself in half, his organs would be hanging out of the top half. Are you fucking kidding me? Number 8, Nami's tattoo. I guess they're talking about how Nami got her tattoo changed after Arlong, which Okay, the artist warned her that there would be scarring after the fact, even if she decided to modify the tattoo rather than move it entirely. This was a concern which would never become visibly evident on her body. It cheapened the significance of the moment and reduced the lasting effects of the fishman's brutal reign on her psyche. That's kind of fucking stupid. No, it did not trivialize it. It signified the fact that she was going to move on from that. And just because there isn't like a physical scar there doesn't mean anything. She just like I believe the explanation is that like the Arlong tattoo was used as a base, and so there's less scarring. They had to remove less of the tattoo because they use it as a base for a new tattoo. I don't even think removing tattoos causes scarring. And I'm guessing like the guy saying that it would cause scarring was just like either wrong or was a mistranslation or something. I don't fucking who cares. Number 7, Sanji's unusual durability. This must be talking about whenever in Baratie, Sanji had his ribs broken, some of his bones broken, and then he was fine during Arlong Park. For that, you just kind of gotta accept that One Piece characters have really weird physiology. Like, Usopp can survive getting hit by, like, a 1-ton bat to the skull and he's fine. You know? So, like, fucking, you just kind of gotta you gotta accept that at that point. One Piece characters are really durable. Almost a bit too durable, if I'm being honest, but they're very durable. And this is just another example of that. Number 6, Alvida's devil fruit. What? Huh? After its consumption, Alvida eats a devil fruit after the initial introduction. After its consumption, she became significantly more slender to the point where many did not even recognize her. This was an after effect that the other devil fruits depicted have never had. It's because they're not the same devil fruit. The only shared trait between devil fruits is that they cause someone to not be able to swim. Fucking what? She ate the slip fruit and the weight slipped off of her body. That's the... Did you watch the show? Number 5, letting Kuro live? No, Luffy just doesn't kill people. It's just not a thing he does. I don't think he's ever really killed someone in canon before. He just doesn't do that. Fuck. Okay. Arlong's endgame. What is that? Arlong kill Thanos? Question mark. Arlong was the leader of the Fishmen. He was hellbent on conquering the East Blue. However, even under generous condition that Arlong might be able to dominate whichever village he comes across, he still does not have nearly enough fishmen to occupy these territories. He can just get more. Like, at this point in the series, the fishmen, there is like still a section of fishmen that like have intense hatred of humans. Arlong could just recruit more. He could... Like, the entirety of the new Fishman Pirates would probably be old enough to do that by this point. Fucking, he could get more fishmen to rule. Like, that's not an issue there. Number 3, Zeph's fortitude. Okay, I know what this one's talking about for sure. This is talking about whenever Sanji and Zeph are stranded on the rock, and Zeph he gives Sanji all the food. And so that's just, like... In the anime, it's a bit weird. Either way, even in the anime and the manga, you had to chalk it up to weird physiology. But in the manga, it's slightly more understandable since when he cuts his leg off in the anime, that's not what happens in the manga. He keeps his leg, and then he cuts it off while they're on the rock and eats it. And I guess it was a bit too much for Toei at the time to animate that and comply with censors and all that. So they had to remove that. So it made a little bit less sense as a result. In the manga, it makes a little bit more sense, but again, weird physiology. Number 2, Eric Sickles. Who's Eric? Actually, no, who the fuck is Eric? I don't know who that is. I genuinely do not know who Eric is. Eric One Piece. Eric the Whirlwind was an anime-only character in Mercenary. Anime-only? CBR! You can't put a filler character at number 2. I'm not even gonna entertain that. CBR! How dare! Number 1, the Going Merry Survival. What does that refer to? During their quest to save an Elder Dragon? Elder Dragon. They put filler at number 1? That's... Oh my god. They put filler arcs at number 2 and number 1. The number 1 and number 2 plot holes in East Blue come from filler arcs. I am going to lose all of my brain cells. We're moving on to the next article. Next article, this one is about the awful power scaling I mentioned earlier. One Piece, 5 My Hero Academia characters Luffy can beat and 5 you can't. So this is one of the half and half lists, and it's a like a combo platter, you know? It's like you get the weird list set up and you get the fucking awful power scaling, you know? It's the CBR special, if you will. So number 10 is Toru Hagakure. Toru Hagakure has no other abilities other than being invisible. This is just basically saying, congratulations, Luffy. You can take a high school girl. Good job. Number 9 can't beat Tsuyu Asui. What? This may be a close fight, but the deciding factor is that Asui thrives in water. So this is assuming that we give Asui the advantage of being in water, but even at that point, Luffy was able to defeat Hody Jones while underwater, so like, even if they're underwater, Luffy still wins. Like, I don't... Okay, number 8 can beat Kyokujiro. Yeah, he can do that. Good job, Luffy. You give that high school girl what for. Congratulations. Number 7 can't beat Eijiro Kirishima. What? Okay, so this is Red Riot Unbreakable Kirishima. And I'll give them this. Advanced Conqueror's Hockey was not a thing when this article came out, I don't think. So you can't really use the argument that Luffy would be able to break through Red Riot Unbreakable without even touching Kirishima, even though he could post Wano, since, you know, this article wasn't made like whenever chapter 110 came out. So obviously I'm not going to use that there, even though it's a pretty clear reason why Luffy would win. I can't use that here. But even still, I think that just like a basic coding of Armament Hockey would be able to break through Kirishima's Red Riot Unbreakable, if I'm being honest. Like, Luffy has shown himself punching through like very incredibly tough things before. I don't think this would prove too much of a challenge for him. Like a Red Hawk there, or like an elephant gun. I think it's pretty much over. Number 6 can beat Minoru Mineta. Congratulations, Luffy. You can defeat a toddler. Number 5 can't beat Shoto Todoroki. Okay, to be fair, Luffy did get his ass handed to him by both Fire and Ice Logias at some point. Or I guess Magma Logias in that case, because I don't think he ever fought Ace whenever he had the Marimara no Mi. But he's had his ass handed to him by Fire and Ice before. But I think he would still be able to beat this twink, if I'm being honest. Not only can he just fill the room with fire and ice, he's also incredibly agile, whatever. Luffy is strong, but it doesn't seem like his Devil Fruit powers are anything stronger than what Todoroki has already faced. What? Todoroki fought, like, Stain that one time? I don't know. It's been a while since I watched My Hero. He's, like, fought Stain, a couple of people in the tournament arc or whatever. And that is all I remember. He might have had a significant fight in the manga at some point, or he might have had one in more recent seasons of the anime. I stopped watching it 4, I think. I don't even know if I'm going to watch season 5. I kind of fell off of My Hero, if I'm being honest. But, yeah, don't think Todoroki has ever fought anyone that's stronger than Luffy, if I'm being 100% with you. Luffy would be able to win easily here. Number 4 can beat Mina Ashido. Fuck yeah, Luffy. You punch the shit out of that teenage girl. Hell yeah, dude. Number 3 can't beat Izuku Midoriya. Can't beat Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya, the character whose main thing is punching really hard against the character on which punching really hard will not work. Izuku cannot do damage to Luffy, like, at all. Even if you give him, like, fucking one for all, 100%, like, with Eri on his back, he still cannot beat Luffy. Like, even at that point. He cannot do anything to him. Number 2 can beat Yuga Aoyama. Fuck you, I could beat Yuga Aoyama. Number 1 can't beat Tomura Shigaraki. Luffy can just, like, apply a coating of armament haki to a part of his body that's being touched once he realizes what's happening with that. It's so simple. He can't do shit if Luffy just, like, coats himself in armament haki. I am going to go to sleep forever.